Have you ever been told you're just too sensitive or that you feel things too deeply? For a long time, you might have even believed that was a flaw, something you needed to fix. But what if I told you it's not a flaw at all? What if it's actually a hidden strength? Well, today we're going to dive into the science that shows your depth of feeling isn't a weakness, it's a superpower.
So let me just ask you straight up, does this whole idea of being too sensitive sound familiar? Have you spent years, maybe your whole life, feeling like you experienced the world with the volume turned all the way up and wondering if something was wrong with you?
Think about it for a second. Are you the one who gets choked up during a movie while everyone else is just munching on popcorn? Or how about this one? You walk into a room and you can feel the tension, like it's a fog in the air that nobody else seems to notice. And social events? Oh man, even the fun ones. Do you sometimes leave feeling completely wiped out, like you just ran a marathon? If you're sitting there nodding along to any of this, then I've got good news. You are in exactly the right place. This explainer is for you, and it's going to make so much sense of why you experience the world this way.
And let's just get this out of the way right now, because it's the most important thing you need to hear. You are not broken. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You're just wired differently. And that's actually a really cool thing.
So let's get into it. How exactly are you wired differently? Well, let's talk about your high-resolution brain. Okay, here's a really powerful way to picture this. For most people, their nervous system is kind of like a basic home smoke detector. It's designed to filter out almost all the noise, like 80 to 90% of it, and it only really goes off for big, obvious things. But your nervous system is more like a military-grade deep space detection system. It's picking up everything, all the tiny signals, the nuances, the data that everyone else's system just filters out as background noise. And this isn't just a personality quirk. There's a real scientific name for it: sensory processing sensitivity. It means your brain, especially a little part called the amygdala, that's your emotional command center, it literally lights up faster and brighter than other people's when you encounter something emotional. So no, you're not imagining it. Your brain is genuinely operating at a different frequency. And this brings us to something that's so important. People have probably told you that you overthink everything. Well, I'm here to tell you that's the wrong word. You're not just thinking. When you take in information, you're connecting it to everything you've ever experienced. You're running future simulations. That's not overthinking. That's deep analysis. So you might be wondering, okay, this deep analysis sounds exhausting, so why does it even exist? To answer that, we have to look way back to our ancient survival strategies. It's a totally fair question, right? If being this way takes so much energy, wouldn't evolution have just phased it out by now? The answer is a resounding no, and that's because this trade was, and still is, unbelievably valuable. I want you to picture an early human tribe. For that tribe to make it, it needed a mix of personalities. It absolutely needed the bold, risk-taking warrior types, right? The ones who went out on the hunt. But imagine a tribe made up only of risk-takers. They'd be wiped out in a week. That's why the advisor role was so critical. You were the one who noticed the subtle change in the wind, the one who sensed that a neighboring tribe wasn't being honest. You saw the dangers everyone else missed. So let this really sink in. Your sensitivity isn't some weird glitch. It is a finely tuned survival mechanism that has literally kept entire civilizations alive for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, but if it's such a vital trait, why does it feel so difficult in our world today? Well, that brings us right to the heart of the problem, what we can call a modern-day mismatch. Our modern world is just so loud. It's incredibly fast. And it is always on. There's no off switch. Notifications, social media feeds, 24/7 news. There's just nowhere for that high-resolution brain of yours to go to just process everything. This quote just nails it. It's like asking a super high-end professional camera to take a beautiful, clear photo in a room with a strobe light flashing nonstop. The system gets flooded with bad data, it gets overwhelmed, and pretty soon it just overheats. That feeling? That's you needing to shut down. But this is where the whole story pivots. Because when you stop trying to operate in the strobe light and start creating the right conditions, that same sensitive system stops being a liability and it becomes your superpower. Think of it like this. A less sensitive person is like a dandelion. It's a sturdy plant, it can kind of survive anywhere because it adapts by just ignoring most of the details of its environment. But you're not a dandelion. You're more like a Stradivarius violin, a high-performance instrument. Sure, in a chaotic, noisy environment, it's not going to sound great. but put it in the right environment, a concert hall, and it can create a level of beauty that a dandelion could never even dream.
And that right there is the mistake so many of us make. We spend our entire lives trying to toughen up, trying to turn our violin into a dandelion. But that's not your design. Your job isn't to become less sensitive. It's to build your own concert hall.
So how do you actually do that? How do you build that concert hall so your high-performance instrument can really sing? Well, here's your 4-step game plan. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay, number 1, stop fighting your nature. Seriously, accept that this is your operating system. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Second, redesign your environment. You can't change your brain's wiring, but you can control what you let in. Create quiet spaces. Protect your attention like it's gold. Third, understand your capacity. Your processing power isn't infinite. That recovery time you need isn't lazy, it's essential maintenance. And finally, number 4, use your gift. Lean into it. Apply that depth of feeling and analysis to your job, your art, your relationships. It's what you were built for.
I want you to remember this, especially on the hard days. You are not too much. You're not a mistake. You simply see the world in higher resolution than most people.
So the next time someone tells you to toughen up, or you start to doubt yourself, just remember this thought. The world already has more than enough people who don't feel. What it desperately needs is more people who do. In a world that seems to be getting more and more disconnected, your ability to truly feel, well, that might just be the most powerful thing there is.